but all the soldiers turned on him at the same time, yelling at him to shut up. Frightened, the prince fell to the floor. He said that they were his soldiers. The royal family had taken good care of them, so why were they now siding with the enemy? Ding-mu irritatedly thought about the fact that he had only killed one of his disciples. Was it worth all this effort? Showing up here, injuring a third-rank master, the head of the grandmasters, and having his own soldiers hand him over, Zhang Huang ordered them to greet him. They all got down on one knee, shouting loudly to greet the teacher. Sitting on the flying beast, Mo Yu thought about how many people who sincerely greet him. Although such a bond isn't as strong as a teacher and student, but it definitely goes beyond friendship, she thought that the students were like the teacher's children. They would not dare to go against his word. He went against so many people and without blinking an eye, made them half-disciples. Perhaps Zhang Huan really has the opportunity to become world famous in the Grandmaster competition. Meanwhile, Zhang said that if they did not intend to stop him, let them move away. The soldiers immediately stood to the sides, creating a corridor. Ding-mu shouted out that he was the crown prince, the future king of Xuanyuan. How could he be killed by trash like him? He looked at the servant and said that it wouldn't be that easy. Have him give him the Jasper seal. Taking out a large green seal, the guy shouted out who he was, now the king of Xuanyuan, recognized by the alliance. They would see what the guy could do now. And Zhang Huang thought about the fact that he ignored the ceremony and took the throne this way. Now that he is the king, it will be a bit of a problem. And Ding-mu laughed like a madman, saying that he was the rightful king of Xuanyuan. Does he dare to touch him? Does he have that right? And then he shouted to the soldiers that they were being fed by the kingdom, and they betrayed him. They deserved to die. He added that Zhang Huang had rejected Head Luo's offer, and it was too late now even if he changed his mind. But then a seal of fire went up. The seal of the alliance spread over the entire square. A loud voice was created and said that to become king, a full ceremony must be held and reported. Ding-mu broke the rules and willfully became king. The alliance refuses to recognize this. Ding-mu looked up, saying that it couldn't be. The servant next to him told His Majesty that it was definitely their message. He had seen something like this before, but hitting the servant, the guy yelled at him to shut up. He knows that without him. Zhang Huang said that since the alliance did not recognize him, he was not the rightful king and no one would obey him. Ding-mu irritably asked, "Who cares? That one thinks he will tremble in front of him out of fear. He's incredibly strong, but he won't be able to kill him that easily." Pulling the seal upwards, he shouted that his family had managed to obtain such vast holdings, founding a kingdom and gaining a title that had been passed down from generation to generation for thousands of years. The other kingdoms had never dared to attack. Because of simple brute force? Of course not. It's all about formation, and Zhang just remained silent. The young master said it was the Xuanyuan formation. He's going to activate it. Jin Kunai said that this pharmacy can only be activated with the Jasper seal. It is the kingdom's last line of defense. If he activates it, no one will be able to resist. Ding-mu asked, "They want to kill him? He's the one who will kill them all. If he didn't become king, he would at least bury them all with him." In the next instant, the guy slammed the seal on the ground. Wei Yu told the young master that he was an envoy of the Alliance after all. Is there any way to break this formation? The young master said that this formation absorbed the power of mountains and rivers, deployed for a long time but never used, meaning it should have accumulated a huge amount of energy. Not to mention him. He's afraid. Even if Head Kang himself was here, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. But here, Sun Qian said to just have them look at themselves. And they're also called special envoys of the Alliance. It's just a formation, what's so special about it? As long as young master is here, they have nothing to worry about. But the brunette shouted at him that it was the Xuanyuan formation, a formation that was activating for the first time in thousands of years. But the manager said that if they were done, they could keep watching. He pointed his finger contemptuously downward. Ding-mu sat on the ground in a puff of dust. Gu-mu asked, "What's going on?" The young master asked. "It hasn't been activated." Jin Kunhai asked why. Sun Qian said that even though young master hadn't passed the formation master test, but such formations were like those used for catching animals to him. It was nothing out of the ordinary. Confusedly looking at the seal, Ding-mu asked, "How come? Why isn't it working?" Zhang walked up to him and said that he should have expected something like this. This formation of his was nothing against him. Zhang revealed that he had destroyed it the moment he stepped into Xuanyuan territory. He was talking about the moment he jumped off his flying beast. Ding-mu recalled that this person had resolved the Lin family formation in an instant. He got angry, thinking about the fact that it was all because of that lousy Lin family. He asked who cared, it's not over yet, begging Zhang, shouting that they would see which one of them would stay alive. But Zhang immediately grabbed him by the neck, while the guy was holding him above the ground. The prince asked him not to kill him. It's all because of this Lin Lung woman. He added that the Xuanyuan kingdom would get him anything he wanted, just don't let him kill him. 100 spirit stones, even 200. He would give him everything. Zhang asked grudgingly, what spirit stones? He had already said he would kill him, so he will. But then the prince shouted to his great-grandfather to help him. From behind the gate came a shout that ordered him to stop. Zhang thought about the fact that it was such a powerful aura. With the Eye of Insight and the Library of Heaven's Path, He is able to overpower a half-strange mortal. He fears that the possessor of this aura is far more powerful. Wei Yu shockedly asked that is he still alive, and the young master asked that he knew of whom. Wei Yu said that the Xuanyuan kingdom has an emerald sheet where the strongest masters are recorded. Luo Qianheng, a half-transcendent mortal, a third-rank grandmaster, he is only the third on that list. The man added, then the second place was not a human, but the one who was Xuanyuan's most important support. A half-spiritual beast iron-spined pterosaur that has the blood of the dragon clan flowing in it. Gumu asked, what if he is the second on this list, is it really? Dingmu's first great-grandfather, the 170th king of Xuanyuan. The young master asked that didn't he die? Jin Kunhai replied that it seemed that he had managed to reach the rango of a transcendent immortal. The 170th king of the Xuanyuan kingdom, Ding Hong, walked out from behind the gate. Jin Kunhai said, this is no longer a half-transcendent mortal. Should they intervene? The young master replied that not yet. For now they will observe. They would be able to intervene at any time. The young master thought about Zhang Huang being able to defeat a half-transcendent mortal, to destroy the Xuanyuan formation. They will see what else he has in store. He was just incredibly curious as to what the latter would do against such a strong opponent. The old man asked that he was Grandmaster Zhang Huang, right? Could he let this young man go as respect for his old age? He promises him 200 spirit stones as a thank you. The old man added that if he really decided to kill him, nothing good would come of it. On the contrary, he would have to pursue him. He is a smart man, so let him make a smart choice. Without letting the guy out, Zhang Huang asked 200 spiritual stones. He really needs spiritual stones, but he is not going to trade honor and morally something like this. Twisting the guy's neck, Zhang asked what if he agreed. How would he look into Lu Chun's eyes after that? Zhang threw the guy to the ground, and the old man unleashed his power. Mo Yu cursed and then told Zhang Huan that it was because of her. The old man released the beast, saying he had given it a choice, but it chose death. Zhang Huang grudgingly asked, what choice is there? If he had to make it again, he would kill him again. He activated the library to see the flaws. The pterosaur flapped its wings. Zhang Huang frowned his eyebrows. He rushed forward, utilizing the techniques of the Heaven's Path movements. The young master said that it looked like Grandmaster Zhang would have a hard time. Jin Kunhai said that if he only dodged, nothing good would come out of it. However, a half-transcendent spirit beast and a transcendent mortal, no one would be able to handle something like this. Ding Hong told the guy he was fast. They'll see how long he can dodge. Zhang replied that it can't go on forever, it does. It looked like he should end it. With a wave of his hand, Ding Hong asked as he finished dodging. Then he would simply die. The pterosaur continued to flap its wings, attacking with fire. Zhang began to suck in the blue energy. Then he pointed it in the direction of the beast. It was the attack that struck him. The pterosaur fell to the ground with a clatter. Gumu asked. Just then Grandmaster Zhang and turned in a strange sound, and he just fell down. The young master said that he heard it too. It was ringing and crisp, something similar to mooing. Jin Kunhai said it was like thunder. He has no idea what it was, but why was the bird so scared? And Wei Yu shockedly said that it was the voice of a true dragon. Getting angry, Ding Hong said that he was capable of striking an iron-spined pterosaur. This is impressive, however. He will have to deal with it on his own. That one will die by his hand. Let him rejoice. The old man used the palm of the original key, and Zhang activated the Heavenly Path Fist. Both opponents faced each other. Ding Hong asked, he is only a rank 9 master, but his strength is not inferior to transcendent mortals. That's impressive. The old man continued to attack, which was no surprise that he was able to defeat the head of the Grandmaster Hall, Luo Ganghong. He possesses incredible strength. He is incredibly curious to see how many blows he can withstand. They clashed hands again. Zhang thought there that palm original key was formed by the blending of the aura of heaven and earth, under the influence of the power of transcendence. But the one has only mastered this technique at an experienced level, unable to apply it without restriction. Zhang pulled back, reaching for his spear. The guy decided that the only thing that could be done was to use brute force. He used the spear of the heavenly path, Ding Hong said in surprise. He was able to see the weaknesses of his technique. He has excellent eyesight. Extending his palm forward, the old man added that he unfortunately underestimated transcendent mortals. Ding Hong grabbed the tip of the spear with 2 fingers. Zhang Huang was confused as his spear was scrolled. With his other hand, the old man was already close to the guy. Zhang was able to raise his arm, covering himself. Jin Kunhai said that it was as if Grandmaster Zhang could see the very essence of all things. The young master added that his attacks were too weak. Even with a spear, it was all useless. Zhang Huan managed to bounce backwards. Ding Hong said that he was too weak. If he had the strength of a transcendent mortal and a half, he would probably be injured by now. What a pity that he has a rank 9 peak. That's too weak. Even if that one sees his weaknesses, what can he do? Getting up, Zhang irritatedly said that the other person was right. His attacks are indeed too weak. With the strength of a rank 9 peak master, he would not be able to injure him. Zhang added that since the latter had mentioned that everything would work out if he had the strength of a half-transcendent mortal, he just needed to make a breakthrough. The guy swallowed the gold pill. In the next instant, he moved to the middle stage of the 9th rank, then to the late stage of the 9th rank, and to the peak of the 9th rank. The young master thought in surprise at the fact that this was the peak of the 9th rank. Masters have been cultivating for over 10 years, and yet they still don't always manage to advance within the 9th rank, and that one had reached the peak in just a blink of an eye. Gumu said that these are flame lotus seeds. They do contain energy and people use them to take a break as soon as possible. But for the effect to be so impressive, Wei Yu said that the energy that contains the flaming lotus seed is uncontrollable and dangerous. It's like a powder keg. The energy will spread along the meridians, and if something goes wrong, the human body may not be able to withstand it. But just how much mastery and confidence does one need to master rank 9 to make a breakthrough without the slightest hesitation? How much practice is needed to have the courage to challenge the heavens? Ding Hong asked glumly. What did the latter choose to ignore him? The old man lunged at the guy only to have him dream of making a break for it. Gumu shouted that one was shameless. Sun Qin also shouted that how can you attack when someone makes a breakthrough? Jin Kunhai said that it was already a matter of life and death. If you let Grandmaster Zhang make a breakthrough, his opponent would have a hard time. So there was no need to judge him. The young master said that if he decided to make a breakthrough at a time like this, then he had already thought it through. They will see what happens next. Ah Zhang spread his hands apart. Jin Kunhai shouted that it was not good. That one wasn't blocking his attacks. Mo Yu fearfully covered her mouth with her hand as she continued to say that it was impossible. Did Ding Hong ask the one trying to make a breakthrough right on the battlefield? It's not enough to kill him. But Zhang grimly gave thanks for that. Ding Hong fearfully opened his eyes. In the next instant, Zhang unleashed his strength, pulling the old man away. The young master thought in surprise as he attacked with all his might. His strike came exactly at Grandmaster Zhang. But not only did he not die, it allowed him to make a breakthrough and become a half-transcendent mortal. Ding Hong was angry, asked who cared even if he succeeded. He pulled out his sword. Throwing himself at the guy, he said he was going to die anyway. Repeat swung his sword several times. Zhang Huang grinned that it was just as he thought. He uses the techniques of the movements of the celestial path. Guy was seriously thinking about how a transcendent mortal was powerful. As he thought back to the old man's punch, he thought about the fact that the flaming lotus seed had an incredibly explosive power, however. If it wasn't for that punch, he wouldn't have been able to contain the energy tearing through his body. If not for that one, he would have died from the furious power of the seeds. The old man was thinking about how this guy is kind of weird. We need to end this soon. He swung his sword again. Clenching his fist, Zhang thought about the fact that, as expected, with the Eye of Insight, he could now read the weaknesses of masters who were stronger than him by 1 rank. Now he wasn't losing to him in terms of strength. Zhang once again used the Heaven's Path Fist, which he used to smash the old man's attack. Defending with his sword, Ding Hong was surprised by this power. Zhang manages to kick him backwards. Groaning in pain, the old man wondered. He had 100,000 din, longevity rank power. But after all, that one was only a half-transcendent mortal. How could such a thing be possible? Kneeling down, Ding Hong stuck his sword into the ground, thinking about the fact that even with such strength, if he relied only on his fist, he would never be able to bypass his essence of blade-wielding. The old man straightened up, displaying his crystal sword, but only the master shouted that the one was shameless. Jin Kunhai agreed with him, saying that he was a transcendent mortal against 1.5 transcendent mortals. And he decided to defend himself? Using true essence and going on the defensive was like taking the easy way out. Ding Hong guessed that there would be a long battle. He told Zhang Huan, admitting that he was a strong opponent. But now neither of them will be able to injure each other. Since Ding Mu is already dead, they will put this in the past and forget all the grudges. What will he say? Pulling out his sword, Zhang asked, unable to hurt him. He's thinking too much. Here the swords of all the soldiers trembled. Looking at his trembling sword, Ding Hong thought of the 10,000 swords whistling, dragons roaring. This is a much deeper technique. Blade Spirit? Zhang Huang slowly walked towards him. Ding Hong thought in astonishment that even transcendent mortals were unable to achieve such a level of skill. A boy who is not even 20 years old, who has just made a breakthrough, is capable of something like this. With a wave of his sword, Zhang Huang said that the spirit of the blade like the soul itself, was one with his thoughts. From now on, everything would be at his will. They will see if he can injure it now. Ding Hong was startled. Looking at his hand, which was moving without his desire, he thought, what's going on? The next instant, he cut off his own hand. Frightened as he looked at it, he thought, could his technique really be dispelled so easily? Throwing himself forward, he decided that this couldn't go on any longer. He had to run. Getting angry and swinging his sword again, Zhang asked where the man was going. Turning around, the old man realized he couldn't dodge. Ding Hong wanted to use the bloody sacrifice to escape. But in the next instant, Zhang Huang struck him with his sword. The guy yelled for him not to even think about running away. Zhang stopped, getting down on one knee and leaning on his sword. But the old man managed to escape through a crack in the wall. Bleeding sweat, Zhang thought that even though he had managed to make a breakthrough, it was against the will of the heavens to use this power under pressure. It looked like he had reached his limit. The young master said not to worry. That one had used a blood sacrifice, and on top of that, he was also left without his right arm. Even if he didn't die here, he was significantly injured, and his cultivation base had suffered significant losses. Guy added that he thought the one couldn't maintain his power even at the level of a half-transcendent mortal. He is no longer a threat. Zhang looked at him and wondered in surprise at his disguise. Is it a woman? With the eye of insight, he can see the true face of the person who applied the disguise. The one walked up to Zhang, bowed and said that he was Zhao Feiwu of the Alliance. He was glad to meet him. Zhang stood up, put his sword away and thanked him for his help. Zhao Feiwu said that the Xuanyuan kingdom decided to elect a king without notifying the Alliance. He is just doing his job. He is the one who should be thanking him. He added that it was his medicine that saved him. If not for it, he feared, he would still be spending his days waiting for his inevitable death. Zhang looked at him in surprise. The latter replied that this was the last mystery he, then still in the guise of Liu Cheng, had solved at the Qianwu Physicians Guild. He was the one who suffered from this disease. They had seen many good doctors, but no one could help him. The fact that he was able to be cured is entirely his merit. Zhang asked if it was a congenital muscle weakness. The man replied that it was correct. Zhang said with a smile that since his prescription helped him heal, and the one helped him today, they were even. Zhao Feiwu awkwardly said, however, he had killed the king of one of the titled states and banished one of the ancestors. What does he think of doing now? If nothing is done, there will be no trouble. But Zhang Huang frightenedly thought that he was only thinking about avenging Lu Chun. If things are left as they are, then very soon the Xuanyuan kingdom will be in a real chaos. Its collapse was only a matter of time. Zhao Feiwu asked if he could advise him on something. Since he had destroyed the old Mi order, if he became king, no one would mind. Upon his return, he would report everything. Zhang and Wovka thought about the fact that he needed to become a 9th-rank grandmaster before the age of 30 to stay alive. A titled kingdom. Would he be able to rule for 10 years today? No way. He doesn't want to be a king who rules for such a short period of time. Zhang replied that he wasn't really interested in something like that. He doesn't want to be the king, but he can find someone suitable for the role. Zhao Feiwu asked who, and then he turned to the stewards and told him not to tell him that he was about Sun Chang. And the latter asked grudgingly, what did he have to do with it? The Lord thought about the fact that he was not particularly strong, and the same could be said about his mind. If he becomes king, he was afraid the kingdom would fall apart even faster than without a king at all. Zhang said with a smile that it was impossible. It would just be a waste of his potential. Zhao Feiwu agreed, thinking about that really. What kind of master such is the servant? She had thought that Sun Qian was naturally like this, but considering his master's behavior, everything becomes understandable. 6th rank. This guy is good for nothing at all, and he says to be a king is this rata of his potential. How is she supposed to communicate with them? Zhang waved in the air, telling Mo Yu to come down. The girl jumped off the flying beast. Zhao Feiwu asked, what is she? Zhang replied, that is correct. He wants her to become the first queen of Xuanyuan. Is there any objection to that? Mo Yu was surprised. Zhao Feiwu said that one had only reached rank 8. Xuanyuan is full of rank 9 masters. Letting a person with a less developed cultivation base control them is somewhat, but Zhang said that she was not strong enough yet, however. It was an incredible result for her age. As long as her strength and resources are sufficient, it won't be difficult for her to keep them under control. Zhao Feiwu said that she had potential, but they were talking about the present, not the future. But Zhao Feiwu seriously said that changing the king was a serious matter. If she was not strong enough, she would not be able to hold onto the throne. Moreover, there might be more serious problems. Zhang said that since that was the case, does she want to be a rank 9 peak master? Mo Yu replied that of course. Holding out the seed to her, Zhang told her to eat it and sat down. The girl put the seed in her mouth. When she sat up in lotus pose, Zhang stood over her head and began to help her. Zhao Feiwu thought in surprise, what could make a master make a breakthrough in the blink of an eye? Even 4th-ranked grandmasters in the Alliance aren't capable of something like this. Now this kind of thing. Now it was understandable why Sun Qian was allowing himself to behave like this. It's just unbelievable. Jin Kunhai asked, what is this skill transfer? The girl asked, what is it? The elder said that great grandmasters are able to develop exclusive improvement programs for their disciples, and then use their own energy to strengthen and improve them. The man added in surprise that firstly, the grandmaster must have reached at least rank 6. And secondly, the grandmaster must have a full understanding of the peculiarities of the student, the location of the meridians, and the limit of physical capabilities. Thirdly, know which methods are suitable for a particular disciple. Not a single mistake can be made. Jin Kunhai said that the slightest mistake in one of the 3 conditions, and the receiving party would die. This guy went about it as if he did it every day. He didn't even need preparation. He did everything perfectly. Zhao Feiwu asked, is he definitely a rank 2 grandmaster? Mo Yu broke through to the peak of the 9th rank. The elder and Zhao Feiwu were shocked. Mo Yu kneeled down and thanked the teacher. He replied that it was not necessary. Zhao Feiwu awkwardly said that she had reached the 9th rank and could now become a queen. However, this was still not enough to convince the others. Zhao Feiwu said that 9th rank peak masters are quite strong, however, to rule the Xuanyuan realm. It is not enough. One must at least become a half-transcendent mortal. Zhang Huang pondered over this. The guy told them to wait and walked over to the pterosaur. He threateningly told him that today, he would recognize Mo Yu as his mistress and would obey her orders. Does he have any objections? Jin Kunhai asked that it was after all a beast that was sure the Xuanyuan royal family, proud and majestic, and the one just made him obey Mo Yu so easily. Zhao Feiwu awkwardly asked, "How is this possible?" Mo Yu thought to herself, "Does the cruel taming method also work on beasts with dragon blood flowing in their veins?" In the next instant, the beast was at the girl's side and gave her his blood. Everyone was surprised that he recognized her as his mistress, using a blood oath. Did they think it was even fair? And where's a shred of the dragon clan's greatness? Wei Yu thought it was the voice of the dragon there. That's impressive. Sun Qian proudly thought that nothing less was expected from young master. Zhang asked, "Is this enough?" "If this is everything here," he sends to the Grandmaster Hall. Zhao Feiwu asked, "Is the guy really going to do that?" The guy replied that yes, otherwise he won't solve his problem. The girl said if he challenged the Grandmaster Hall, it would mean that he was challenging all the Grandmasters. Although the Xuanyuan Grandmaster Hall is in the middle of nowhere, it was founded thousands of years ago. As far as he knows, that one is famous for having a 5th-rank Grandmaster and 3 4th-rank Grandmasters. The girl added that even though these people were no longer alive, a part of their power was still contained somewhere out there. To break in would be to challenge them. Why not think it over again? But Zhang Huang irritably replied that there was no need for that. He had already made up his mind. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Tianwu, a servant reported to His Majesty that the princess and Grandmaster Zhang had reached Xuanyuan. The king replied that it was excellent. Smiling, he said that this child was incredibly good. She was very responsible. She stood to accompany Grandmaster Zhang to the alliance, thus leveling all her efforts. The king asked, what did the servant want to add? The man said that once Grandmaster Zhang was in Xuanyuan, he caused a commotion at Crown Prince Dingmu's coronation ceremony. He killed him. Mo Tianshui shockingly thought about the fact that he had killed Dingmu. The status of the crown prince of a titled kingdom is incredibly high. This is not a comparison to their kingdom. To kill him like this? Has Grandmaster Zhang lost his mind? Is he sick of living? The king asked fearfully. What's wrong with Mo Yu? How is she? The servant reported that the last message said that Lady Mo Yu would ascend the throne as Empress Xuanyuan. Mo Tianshui asked in surprise, what will take the throne? Empress Xuanyuan. Did he think there that by killing the crown prince of Xuanyuan, one could become its new ruler? Meanwhile, in the alliance in the Grandmaster's Hall, the man standing at the podium said that was all for today. If anyone had any questions, they were welcome to ask. The man walked up to Grandmaster Hong and thanked him for his efforts. He had just returned, but he was already teaching. The old man with a bushy beard, who was a Hongfeng Kingdom's 5th-ranked Grandmaster, Hong Qian, replied that helping all cultivators by nurturing Grandmasters was his job. But then the bell rang. Hong Qian asked, 4 in a row, were they attacked? Who would have thought that something so interesting would happen right after he returned? The man said that Grandmasters should not only be diligent and reasonable, but also patient. But here was the younger generation not quite realizing the risks they were putting themselves at for quick fame. Grandmaster Hong said ignorant people, however, this is a great opportunity to wake up their minds. The man suggested to him, why don't I have some tea, and he will instruct people to find out what is going on there. Hong Qian agreed. After a small amount of time, it was reported to them that it was from the titled Xuanyuan Kingdom. Hong Qian, pouring himself some tea, said that he had spent quite a bit of time there. It was there that he had obtained his rank of 3rd-rank Grandmaster. However, whoever dared to invade the Xuanyuan Grandmaster Hall would suffer significant losses. The man added that he had left a particle of his will there. Even a 4th-rank Grandmaster would be hard to deal with, let alone some passers-by. The head of the audience asked, a particle of will? He guesses it will indeed not be easy. Hong Qian laughed, saying that not only did the Xuanyuan Grandmaster Hall not only stored a piece of his will, but also 3 4th-ranked Grandmasters. So he would have to deal with these 3 to begin with. The head of the hall said he believed, even at this stage, it would be over. But then the bell rang again. They thought about 5 times? Had he succeeded in taking over the hall? The head of the hall thought about the fact that it had only been a few minutes after the first 4 strikes, but it was enough for him to pass through the will of 3 rank 4 Grandmasters and 1 rank 5 Grandmaster. Was it somehow too fast? He had just told the one that he was going to have a hard time. This is the ultimate humiliation. Did Hong Qian think about what kind of person this person was? The head of the hall ordered that they quickly find out who it was. The door opened. Luo Ganhong's head fell to his knees when he saw Zhang Huan in front of him. He thought about what he had gotten. The will of 3 rank 4 Grandmasters and 1 rank 5 Grandmaster. Was it really that easy for him? What kind of monster had he offended this time? The man bowed, saying that since Grandmaster Zhang had succeeded, the Xuanyuan Grandmaster Hall was admitting defeat. They were willing to listen to him. He asked them to forgive him for what happened earlier. It was all because of Dingmu's lies. and Zhang Huang said that they will not bring up the past. However, he needs his help. Do they have any books or materials that contain information about awakening the sleeping soul? Luo asked, what does Grandmaster Zhang want to awaken a disciple? The man thought about Grandmaster Zhang wanting to awaken a disciple. He beheaded the crown prince, attacked the Grandmaster Hall, all for the sake of a disciple. Zhang replied that yes, he did. The man said that the sleeping soul is related to the mysteries of souls. To be honest, their hall can't be called weak, but even they don't dare to deal with it. Only rank 7 Grandmasters can influence other people's consciousness. Or he could find the heir of an ancient spirit shaman. Zhang thought there that a rank 7 Grandmaster could find a wandering soul and awaken a consciousness. He had heard this from Mo Yu before, but here was a shamanism he had never heard before. He asked, who is this spirit shaman? Luo Ganhong replied that they were people of a special profession that existed in ancient times. He had only heard about it from his elders. It is said that these people use a special dance to summon and collect souls. It also works on spirits as well. However, the masters of this profession have not been seen for thousands of years. Zhang Huang excitedly asked, did he know where to find an heir? Or maybe there are books about this profession. Grandmaster Luo said that he really didn't know anything about the legacy of shamans, although he had heard that the Hunhai City Alliance had once dug up a dead puppet brought back to life, the kind that could be found at auction. If the legacy really exists, one should search in that direction. Zhang Huan thought that although spirit shamans seemed like a fairy tale, they were still better than rank 7 masters. In any case, we should investigate this alliance. Since he's here, we should take a look at Hunhai. The guy turned around and Luo Ganhong wanted to say something to him. The guy raised his hand, interrupting him. He said that it was not all about him. If he has nothing better to do, let him go and help Princess Mo Yu. Meanwhile, in the alliance on Hunhai Mountain, the girl said that Hunhai Mountain gathers traders from all over the world from all provinces. They all come here for a big profit because of the difference in the price of goods. You could say that Hunhai is the best trading city in the entire alliance. The alliance is not as small as Xuanyuan. With his strength, although he's not weak, it's better to be careful. The girl added that the rank 4 masters were sitting in the main hall of Hunhai. She added that as for real strength, she had already reached level 3, yin-yang level, Huafan mirror, mind-boggling. Zhang asked, what is the yin-yang level? Zhao Feiwu said that Huafan has a total of 9 levels. The first is longevity, the second is vitality, the third is yin-yang, the fourth is the level of harmony, the fifth is the connection with departed souls, the sixth is the road to heaven, the seventh is unity, the eighth is nothingness, and the last is the seal of infinity. Everyone should know that upon reaching the first level, their strength will remain at 100,000 din, but their lifespan will increase to 100 years. Each time one improves their skills, their lifespan will increase by 50 years. The girl added that at the second level of life force, the chi energy increases, and then it can be used to control the elements. Reaching the third level, yin-yang, one can obtain such power that can destroy a mountain. Yuan Tao asked that it was possible to destroy a mountain with a single blow. Zhao Yao said that when she became a master, she felt incredible strength. Yang Li said that one could easily lift 1,000 kilograms and throw it. Zhao Feiwu said that as for the level of harmony, there are dark and light beginnings in their souls, and the life force comes in pure and impure. A diligent practice can find the right path. That is, it is a chance to improve one's life energy. With practice, one can rise from the lower rank of the third level to the middle rank. Of course, the progress will be tangible. Rank 4. Master Kang of the Alliance had reached this level. He has done so. His word has begun to carry weight in the Alliance. No one dares to argue with him. As for level 5, she had only heard of someone outside the Alliance, so there wasn't much information. Zhang said that's what it is. He seriously said that the 9 levels, as well as the 9 stages of perfection in martial arts, are related to the heavens. So it's not very easy to perfect. Apparently they will forever be looking for loopholes to comprehend the martial art. But then Sun Qian asked unhappily, who is it after all? Why can't he see the messenger? And Zhang awkwardly replied that she was the messenger. The guy was surprised. The girl bowed, apologizing for not introducing herself. She was Zhao Feiyu, an alliance envoy, disguised for a mission. Sun Qian shockedly said, this is a great disguise, a completely different person. Zhang told the guy to go to the auction and help him find out about the puppets. The guy agreed with him, but then Feiyu told them to take it easy. Valuable things like puppets are auctioned off at the Jianbao Pavilion. Sun Qian irritatedly thought that she had taken all the glory for herself. Zhang Huang asked in surprise, is this a gathering place for antique dealers? The girl said she had nothing to do anyway, and she was familiar with the area. She would be his free guide. The boys immediately perked up their ears. Zhang resolutely stood up, and said that since it was free, they would go. Slamming the table, he added that they were going to Jianbao Pavilion. Yuan Tao and the others said that they also wanted to go, but Zhang immediately took out a decanter, said here are lotus seeds for them, let them practice harder. Zhao Yao and Wang Yin obeyed, and the guys sadly thought about the fact that they also wanted to go. Why didn't the man take them? Meanwhile, Gumu told Jin Kunai that he wasn't really fit for anything else here. The elder told him to stay with his disciples. While walking down the street, Feiyu talked about how, by the way, gold coins are hardly used in Hun Hai. Jade amulets and spiritual stones are used for trading. There is a jade talisman. It is graded. 1 rank 4 talisman can be traded for 100 rank 3 talismans. 1 rank 3 talisman can be exchanged for 100 rank 2 talismans. If they talk about spirit stones, 1 rank 3 talisman can be bought for 10 spirit stones. Zhang Huang asked gloomily, what were they using jade talismans to trade? While thinking to himself, why was it necessary to earn these gold coins? They came to the hall of the Jianbao Pavilion. Feiyu said that there are only underlings, an antique. That is why he is the main one in the whole alliance. Sun Qian asked, can she guarantee that these are antique items? He suspiciously added that he used to open a store, so he knows a lot of stuff. What if he's a treasure hunter? They all make mistakes. No one can guarantee that the choice is the right one, can they? Feiyu said with a smile that even though the eye may be sharp, no one is immune to mistakes. But if something like that happens, they can just call another appraiser. If he fails, they can just give them all the information they know, but without a clear answer. Zhang asked, how is it unanswered? Jin Kunhai replied that an appraiser can be wrong 3 times in a lifetime. If he exceeds that limit, he won't be able to work anymore. Once he encounters something that is hard to determine, he will be more careful with all decisions. The elder added that, starting with the fact that every treasure he appraises must be recorded and logged, or else it too would be counted as a mistake. Exceeding the limit would result in him being stripped of his profession, no matter what his rank. Zhang Huang said that in fact it is just like other professions. It's even worse for the famous. If you make a slight mistake, it is very likely that everything will be twisted, and then no one will trust you. They went inside and heard different suggestions. Someone said to look at a new model that could independently determine the value of things, and even register and confirm purchases. Only 10 spirit stones, almost free. Another said to just put this fish in their mouth and they can breathe underwater. 3 days and 3 nights, no choking. What a thing. The third one was saying to buy a valuable thing that can handle 17 kinds of poisoning. For a small price, such capabilities. Zhang Huang noticed a man who said that he had a stone here. If he took it out at night, it would light up the path like a star. You can't miss the opportunity. Zhang thought in surprise that although his providence was not perfect, he could easily see the value of some things. But how could this evaluation scale be invisible? The man noticed the look in the guy's eyes and asked if he liked something. He guaranteed that everything was authentic. Zhang pointed his finger at one of the things and asked, what is it? The man picked up a golden object and said the guy has an eye diamond. It's the most valuable item he has. He got it from a tomb raider. It's not entirely clear what kind of treasure it is. However, it's been tested by fire. Not a mark, washed by water. Not a single flaw. It can be understood that this is a first-class treasure. But then Feiyu came up to the counter and asked, what is this most valuable thing? Who is he deceiving? Who would sell such a valuable treasure in the market? The man awkwardly asked, why would he deceive them? The item is indeed valuable. He asked the appraiser with 2 stars to appraise it, but he couldn't say anything. Zhang awkwardly asked, how much is it? The girl looked at him indignantly. The man cheerfully said that if the gentleman paid attention to him, the item was definitely his. He would sell it for next to nothing, only 100 spirit stones. Zhang was ready to cough up blood. He asked what was the one carrying. 100 spirit stones. The guy thought about how everything was cheap in such tents. 1, 2 spirit stones at most. So many stones. It would be cheaper to sell it. Feiyu mentally told Zhang that all these street peddlers are always overpricing. They are cheaters. Let him not fall for it. Zhang asked in surprise. What are cheaters? The girl replied to let him watch. She would help him bargain. Let him wait for a while. Zhang agreed. The girl told the man to stop talking nonsense. It's not the first time they've been here. They have experience in buying things. This 100 spirit stones can buy a level 10 3-star jade symbol. Does he think it's worth it? Or is he trying to cheat them? Let him name the real price. The man awkwardly asked that she must be joking. He named the actual cost. Though unremarkable, it was not cheap. The craftsman tried to work on it, but it didn't work out. Even though he doesn't know what it is, he's sure it's a real treasure. But he added that this wasn't the first time they'd been here. Regulars, you might say, so he wouldn't quibble. Let them name their price. If it suits him, let them take it. If not, they say goodbye. The girl said that was fine, and offered to give him 15 stones. The man asked, what's 15? But said it's okay if he goes into the minuet. 15 is so 15. Zhang wondered in surprise at the thought of how could it be like that. The girl told Zhang to pay up. Zhang thought about the fact that he is certainly very eager to pay it off. But 15 stones is honestly an unaffordable amount for him. He won't be able to find one. He said that 15 stones is very expensive. The man asked what is 15 stones expensive. Don't make him laugh, it's just a small thing. Feiyu also said that it's fine. Looking at Zhang, she thought to herself, isn't he here for a puppet? She's worth so much more and he can't even afford the smallest thing. 15 spirit stones for the sake of buying something extraordinary. Why does he think it's expensive? Zhang suggested to the man that he let him estimate its value first, and then they would bargain. The man agreed, and handed Zhang the object. Taking it, Zhang saw hidden writings on it. He realized that they were the reason why no one could appreciate this item. He decided to study it in the library. He thought about the fact that it was an amulet made of dragon scales, was forged 2,000 years ago by a 6-star master. It can withstand attacks with the strength of a level 3 Huafan. It's a good thing, we should definitely take it. But then a man appeared next to him and said he would take him for 15 stones. The merchant recognized Liu Chan's chief appraiser. He told him that if he wanted it, he should give it to him right away. However, this young master also liked him. Why don't they work it out between themselves? Liu Chen told Zhang that he liked him. Tell him to give it to him. But Zhang grudgingly apologized and said that he also fancied him. He doesn't want to give it away so easily. Zhang thought about the fact that this thing could save a life 3 times. Only a fool would give it away. Liu Chen asked the merchant that the merchant had noticed him earlier but still hadn't paid. He offered to give him 50 spirit stones and the man would give it to him. The merchant turned to Zhang with a smile and said that master appraiser Liu had already made his offer. If the price is too high for him, let him return it to him. Zhang said that he would offer a price, and if he was satisfied with it, he would sell it to him, and if not, he would sell it to an appraiser. The merchant agreed, and he thought happily as the price began to rise. Zhang said with a smile that he would give him 50 gold coins. What was he thinking? The merchant thought shockedly about the fact that he was offering 50 spirit stones, and the guy was offering 50 gold coins. Is he kidding himself? Fei Yu was also surprised, thinking about the fact that she had just dropped from 100 to 15 stones, and now he was talking about 50 gold coins. Just now there was talk of her being tricked. Now who's fooling who else? Liu Chang thought 50 gold coins? Where did this redneck come from? Spirit stones and gold coins are completely different currencies. They can't be compared. He's giving 50 spirit stones and the other guy is giving 50 gold coins. Why doesn't he just give the goods to him? The merchant took the amulet, apologized, and said he couldn't sell it to him. Zhang asked what the man thought he hadn't offered enough. As he left, Zhang said that he thought he would sell it to him and solve his problem with insomnia and nightmares. But okay, whatever the man wants. The merchant asked in surprise. What did he say? The man shouted to the young gentleman, asking him to wait. But Liu Chang said that as a self-improver, he should absorb spiritual energy and improve his body. Under good conditions, insomnia rarely appears. What to speak of nightmares, so let him not fall for this fool's tricks. And Zhang asked, what's a fool? A guy told a man that he's been getting night sweats lately, and if he wakes up in the middle of the night, his body twitches like a dead person. The merchant replied that yes. He went to many doctors, but no one could help him. Zhang said he could solve his problem. He may or may not believe it, but it's his last chance. If he doesn't take it, he won't live long. The merchant thought that this would not do. Money is important, of course, but you can't buy health with it. The man apologized to Liu Chang's appraiser and said he couldn't sell it to him. Leaving, Liu Chang told the man to be careful. There are a lot of empty-headed people here, and Zhang told him that whether there are many or not is not his concern. Have a safe journey. The merchant didn't know what to say, and Zhang told him not to worry as he agreed. He would help him. Taking one of the plaques from the counter, Zhang said that much of what he earns from is obtained through dishonest means. These antique items have a bright aura. He doesn't need to explain that it came from looting a tomb, so also from the burial of a very powerful dead man. The man frightenedly said that 8 months ago, the grave of a master who followed the path of the Huafan mirror was excavated. But how did the guy have such knowledge? Zhang told the man to calm down. He doesn't care about his business. But if that master died of old age, then everything would be fine. It was a pity that he died of betrayal. And resentment took over not only his body and spirit, but also the things he had with him. Zhang added that thus the things pulled out from there are cursed. He needs to put things back where they belonged, then everything will be fine. Let him find out who is buried there and treat his family with care and pay homage to him, and then he will be safe. The merchant bowed to the young master and thanked him for his advice. Then he handed him the amulet and asked him to take it. Zhang held out a pouch of coins to the man, but the man said there was no need to pay. Let him take it as a thank you. Fei Yu was shocked, and Zhang asked how is it not necessary to pay? If you don't give money, wouldn't it be robbery? After accepting the coins, the merchant thanked the master once again. Zhang said, you are welcome. It was just an exchange. Fei Yu shockedly thought to herself, is it possible to do this too? Then why so much agony with bidding? The girl asked Zhang, was he a doctor or something? Or was he just guessing? And Zhang laughed, hiding the amulet in his ring. Jin Kunhai mentally asked the lady that maybe he didn't fully understand how trading worked, so to speak. But was this how trading worked? And the girl didn't know what to answer, so she suggested that they forget about it. Heading forward, Zhang Huang contentedly told them to keep walking forward. They would see if there was something interesting there as well. Sun Qian of the city followed the gentleman, thinking that he was indeed worthy of being called a young master, and the merchant waved to the guy, telling him to come again. Fei Yu said that the second room is not so chaotic. All the treasures here have already been appraised. And these stalls, although they have been here for over 100 years, despite their reputation and goods, are still better than the street stalls. She added that the second building also houses the largest market called the First-Class Palace. The treasures found here live up to the name. Although it was not opened by appraisers, the exchange is one of the busiest places. It attracts many appraisers who are involved in buying as well. Zhang Huang thought about the purpose of his visit being a puppet. If there is a first-class palace here, then one should just go there and inquire about puppets. As they were walking down the corridor, a merchant came out in front of them, stopped them, and told them that most of their treasure had been appraised by the best appraisers, and all at a good price. Zhang thought about first seeing if there were any treasures here that he couldn't appreciate. Looking at the jewelry, he thought about the fact that apparently there was nothing here that looked like an amulet made of dragon scales that he couldn't identify. They went on, but then Sun Qian told his master that appraiser Liu was there. Looking into the tent, Zhang thought about the fact that not only treasures were sold here, but also medicinal potions. Liu Chang looked at the green plant and told the teacher that it was the calming herb he was looking for earlier. Fei Yu said that its rhizome is purple, the branches and leaves are green, and the leaves are divided in half with stripes. The second seller said that this lady is really observant. This is a really soothing herb. They got it for a lot of money. In the entire alliance, there is only one plant that affects the soul in this way. It is said to be able to awaken even a sleeping soul. Zhang interjected, "What can awaken a sleeping soul?" He thought about the fact that the effect of the herb was to calm the mind, so one could easily enter consciousness, and get twice the result with half the effort in cultivation. But it did not have the effect of awakening the sleeping soul. Fei Yu said that it was impossible, but the merchant answered them that ordinary calming herb doesn't have this kind of effect. But this herb is different from the others. It is an imperial calming herb that relies on the spiritual energy of incense-absorbing spiritual stones to grow, and is extremely effective for even the strongest level of transformation. Zhang asked, as they used the spiritual stones to energize it. The men told me that as soon as the sprouts appeared, it was necessary to cover the plant with stones so that they would absorb the necessary energy and give the plant the energy to grow. Frankly speaking, it took 100 such stones to grow this plant. What to speak of human and material resources? Zhang Huang asked in surprise. 100 spirit stones for some plant? He thought about the refinement first, and he hadn't used so many stones until now. He didn't expect that some plant's level of refinement was higher than his. The man replied that yes, because the calming herb was not like other herbs at all. It changed its properties and had a very powerful effect on the soul. And Zhang thought that there was hardly anyone stronger than this herb. Zhang thought about the fact that from what he could see, although this plant was quite strong, it still hadn't reached the level of stealth. Quite useful for the unawakened. He furrowed his eyebrows, thinking that although this herb couldn't awaken a soul, it would hold it in place and even increase its power a little. That might already be enough. It should be taken for Lu Chun. Zhang Huang asked the merchant, "How much is it worth?" He replied that the calming herb was the most valuable treasure in their pavilion, so it was also the most expensive, costing 500 spiritual stones. Zhang was shocked to hear such an amount. He thought about the fact that this was not a first-class palace, but a rip-off palace. I mean, it's expensive. Who would buy such a thing? Meanwhile, the teacher tells the other vendor that he wants this herb. He takes it, and they can still pack the emerald bamboo, potsage grass, and yin-yang umbrella he was looking at before. Zhang thought in surprise at the fact that realistically someone had bought this. But it's impossible for the calming herb to go to someone else. But when the guy headed in their direction, the vendor said that it was already sold out. Why wouldn't he look at something else? Zhang Huang walked over to the men, and with a smile he asked if they could wait for a while. Liu Chang thought about the fact that he had just robbed him, and he was trying to do it again. The man asked the guy, what was he up to? Let him not make trouble here. But Zhang asked with a smile, could he let him look at the soothing herb? The appraiser said it was already bought. Let him look for something else. The guy asked, they haven't paid for it yet, have they? Usually the highest bidder buys. So if he offered a higher price, would he be able to take the weed? Liu Chang asked irritably, what was the one stealing his phrases? While thinking to himself that this guy really came here to cause trouble. And Jin Kunhaiyan awkwardly told Madam that he was doing it on purpose. Otherwise, how can he talk so brazenly? Fei Yu agreed with him, replied that it seems that his main goal is to find trouble. And Sun Quan thought proudly, as expected of the young master. An eye for an eye. Zhang Huang asked what price can they offer. Their offer was 500 spiritual stones. Would they be willing to nobly concede this herb to him? Liu Chang wanted to object to something, but the teacher said enough was enough. The man stepped forward, saying that the man was his apprentice, so it was up to him whether to sell it to him or not. However, he really needs this herb. He wouldn't want to give it up no matter how much he would pay. Looking at them, Zhang thought that Liu Chang was a one-star appraiser, which meant that his teacher must have at least 3, maybe even 4. No wonder he can buy herbs for 500 spirit stones without even blinking an eye. Zhang asked with a smile, what is a lot? He's not going to pay a large amount of money. He's offering 500 gold coins. Liu Chang irritatedly thought, what again? He had just offered 500 spirit stones for this herb. How come the one comes again and offers 500 gold coins? Another treasure, same behavior. Fei Yu mentally told Master Jin to get ready to fight. She is afraid that without his protection he will be beaten to death. The teacher let out his power, asked that one wants to buy the soothing herb for 500 gold coins. He thinks this pavilion doesn't need 500 spirit stones, but they will gladly sell him this precious item for 500 gold coins. Zhang replied completely seriously, that is correct. But then he said he was wrong about one thing. He's not buying it from a first-class palace. He's buying it from him. He hoped that he would buy it and hand it over to him for 500 gold coins. The man asked irritably, what would he buy and sell to him? Why was he so sure that he could buy the herb for 500 spirit stones and then sell it to him for 500 gold? But then Liu Cheng shouted out, asking the guy what problems does he lack? Does he know what kind of person his teacher is? Would you stop talking nonsense? But Zhang slyly asked, what kind of person? If you look closely, you can understand everything at a glance. You can try to guess. He must be an appraiser. Liu Chang said that he had better know that the teacher of their clan. But he didn't have time to finish, because the man interrupted him, saying that if anything he knew that he was an appraiser, he should know that he had no money problems, which meant that he wouldn't sell him what he bought. The teacher asked the merchant to put all this and what he had chosen together and send it to his house. He replied that it would be done. Zhang said with feigned sadness that he thought the honored one was knowledgeable about such things, and he spent so much money on fakes and left. This is incomprehensible, but Liu Chang shouted again that he didn't know who he was talking to. Don't let him talk nonsense. Did the teacher ask whose purchases he called fake? Don't let him think he can just walk away after saying that. And Zhang stared at him intently, asked, what is his eyesight failing him? Can't identify a fake but won't let others point out his mistake? Let him just admit that he is ashamed of his mistake and just wants to get even with him. Liu Chang asked the guy if he knew how many people in Hunhai had asked the teacher to use his all-seeing hand and help them. But the teacher stopped the man again, telling the guy all the guy says is that he bought a fake. Well, what exactly is he calling a fake? And what proof does he have? Zhang grinned, thinking about the fact that he had gotten caught. The man told him that if he presented evidence, he would admit he was wrong. But if he's just talking nonsense and every word is a lie, then he's afraid. Liu Chang doesn't agree either, and Fei Yu awkwardly thought that this whole performance was really giving her a headache. That one is really his own person. Wherever he goes, he will find adventure everywhere. Can't he just live in peace for one day? If he wants to buy soothing herbs, let him give the seller money and buy them. No, he has to get into an argument with an honorable man. What kind of disaster is this? Did Zhang ask if he was lying? Why would he think that? He had just bought that emerald bamboo, right? The guy pointed his hand towards the table where the bamboo stalk was lying. Liu Chang replied that yes, the teacher had bought it for 300 spirit stones. It's the only one in all of Hunhai. He thinks there's something wrong with it. Zhang walked over to the bamboo, touched it and said, this emerald bamboo is a special plant. The leaves can be used as medicine, and the hard stalk can be used to create death warriors. The knee of the bamboo is still suitable for fighting, but it doesn't have that many uses, so there's no point in mentioning it. The question is, what does he need emerald bamboo for? The teacher replied that of course it was for alchemy. His other functions are also good, but none compared to alchemy. Zhang said that his plan is to make him a pill. Then he could say that he was cruelly mistaken. Liu Chang shouted again that he doesn't even know how to identify the true emerald bamboo. That person thinks it's a fake. Okay, if it's not emerald bamboo, what then? But Zhang replied that it was real emerald bamboo. Liu Chang didn't understand anything, not understanding the guy. And the teacher asked, what is he even talking about then? Liu Chang irritatedly said that the one was exactly lying. The teacher also got angry, asking that he was bullying them. Fei Yu thought in surprise that just now he was so confident that they had bought a fake, and now he was saying that it was an original. Even if it's not friendly with his head, at least let him hide it. And Jin Kunhai was ready to defend the guy, and Zhang awkwardly asked, what is he playing with them? They are making up their minds. He is just talking about the fact that if the one wants to create a pill, he bought the wrong one. He's not saying that this emerald bamboo isn't real. Has the guy himself thought about why they're so impulsive? The teacher asked irritably what did he mean then. Zhang replied with a smile that it was very simple. It is indeed a genuine emerald bamboo. But if one wanted to use it to create a pill, he could guarantee that not only would it fail, but he might even die. Liu Chang asked irritably, what to die? Let him stop his jokes. When breaking through, the soul interacts with the heaven and earth and easily absorbs energy, making it easier for soul demons to develop, so the pill can eliminate their influence. It has one use. How can it kill someone? And the teacher calmly asked if he had proof. Zhang replied that if it was someone else, he would have no choice but to make a pill and make someone take it. Tearing off one of the leaves, Zhang added that he knew another way. Liu Chang was indignant at this, and his teacher told him not to simmer. Liu Chang said that this torn-off leaf is worth at least 10 spirit stones. If the man continued to talk nonsense, he would have to pay for it. Taking out a burning wick, Zhang told him to calm down. If there was anything wrong with it, it would have no value. Zhang subhommed, and that one went up in smoke. After a short amount of time, that one filled the entire room with the odor. Both men immediately covered their noses. Fei Yu and Jin Kunhai immediately asked, "Is it poison?" With a wave of his hand, the teacher thought about the fact that it was a highly toxic poison. If it were to be made into a pill, not only would it not help, but it would contaminate the true qi, heart and lungs, resulting in instant death. If it was taken, they would just lose status and reputation and die. The man asked how could this have happened. The merchant immediately fell to his knees and began to apologize. He said he didn't know how it happened. And besides, even the appraiser didn't notice anything. How could he have done it? Zhang told them that enough was enough. The latter really didn't he know. This poison is hidden in the leaves of the emerald bamboo. It is very hard to spot. It is incredibly strong. It's probably at least rank 4. Yeah, and it doesn't use this poison. No one would be able to slip it in. Liu Chang asked that no one could have planted it, and the teacher asked that if this bamboo wasn't poisoned on purpose, how did the poison end up on its leaves? Jin Kunhai said that this poison is very unique. It is almost impossible to identify even when it hits Qi, and its power is incredible. It can kill even those who are at Huafan level 3. If one rank 4 poison master didn't describe all of this, they wouldn't know anything about it at all. Fei Yu asked, what if no person had slipped the poison in? Then where did it come from here? Zhang Huang said that this emerald bamboo grows on Hongshu Lake. He thinks everyone knows what this lake is known for. This place is filled with fresh foliage, life and death tea leaves, and it's also teeming with leaf snakes. The guy said that the leaf snake that feeds on wilted leaves is a spiritual beast that secretes poison. If it bites someone who is at the 3rd level of Huafan, he will die. The appraiser said that although the poison of this one is incredibly poisonous, it has a specific odor that you can smell right away. And the stem is incredibly smooth. There are no bite marks. But Zhang explained that it wasn't all about snake saliva. It was because the bamboo itself was a nest for these leaf snakes. So, roughly speaking, that's why the incredibly smooth trunk was crawling with leaf snakes every day. Zhang explained that this was why the emerald bamboo might be suitable for other things, but certainly not for making an immortality elixir. When the poison reveals itself, even if a master at Huafan level 3 kills it, the gods themselves won't be able to help. That's why he says that if his goal is to create an immortality elixir, he bought a fake. The teacher thought in surprise that to discern the poison in this plant, one must know the properties of this bamboo, its habitat and origin. He felt ashamed of his level of vision. The man bowed to Zhang, saying that his talent was astonishing. Since he liked the soothing herb so much, he gave it to him as a thank you. Liu Chang indignantly told the teacher that he had just bought this for 500 spiritual stones, and he was just giving it away. But the teacher told him to be quiet. Whether to give it away or not was his decision. But then Liu Chang realized something that made his eyes widen. As he looked at Zhang, he thought about the fact that an appraiser could only be wrong 3 times in his life. If he made more mistakes, he would return to the normal world. Teacher had already appraised a huge amount of treasures. He had already made 3 mistakes. One more mistake and he will find himself in a bad situation. Does he know about teacher's past mistakes? Liu Chang decided that if he let the teacher take this emerald bamboo and find a person who could make an immortality elixir, even if the teacher didn't die from the poison, he would lose his reputation forever. In all those years of holding a high position in society, he must have offended many people, causing them to hate him, which means that if he lost his reputation, he might be persecuted or tried to be killed. Besides, the one who saved the teacher's life, and even if the soothing herb cost 500 coins, the teacher is willing to pay for the rescue no matter what the price is. But the man also thought about the fact that the teacher had broken the rule of 3 mistakes, and only his close circle knew about it. How did this guy know about it? Besides, he was sure he was right and was expecting thanks. If we compare this case with the previous one that happened on the 1st floor of the pavilion, could it be that although this guy is young, he is a talented antique dealer? The man looked at the boy with admiration. Zhang said with a smile that it was a precious gift. Someone like him is not worthy of accepting it. He shouted to Sun Qian that he had given them 500 gold coins. They will buy the soothing herb from them. They would not let the elder be left with nothing. The manager obeyed. Liu Chang awkwardly thought, what the hell? He thought he was a respectable person. He spoke so politely, but in reality he had no conscience at all. The teacher told the young master that he was sincerely grateful, so there was no need for money. And Zhang replied not to refuse. 500 gold coins he was still able to afford. The man awkwardly agreed. Liu Chang grudgingly thought about the fact that this money is like going to pick up trash. The same amount of value would be the same. Of course, he is able to afford it. And the teacher said, apparently, the young master knows a lot about treasure appraisal. He doesn't know which academy he's from. Is he a treasure appraisal master too? But he was answered by Sun Qian, who said that their young master was the famous master Zhang Huang. His teacher is the famous master Yang Xuan. The men were shocked. Liu Chang thinking about it was not surprising. The level of treasure appraisal is higher than his teacher's, and he can't even be talked about. The teacher said with a smile that he was a famous master. No wonder he has such a vision. He apologized for being disrespectful to him. He is his humble servant, Sai Xiaoyu. No matter how many years have passed, he can call him Brother Sai. No need for any ceremony or elders, and Fei Yu asked in surprise that is he really the master of Jianbao Pavilion. She thought about the fact that who would expect Master Zhang to teach a lesson to a rank 4 treasure appraiser and even get a soothing herb from him. While Sun Qian was handing over the money to Liu Qian, Zhang put his hand on the teacher's shoulder and said that it was very good that he was the pavilion master. He heard that Hong Haicheng had gotten one puppet. He wasn't sure if it was true, but where could he, in case of emergency, find a puppet? Sai Xiaoyu asked that this is why Brother Zhang came here. The puppets really do exist. They will be auctioned off in this pavilion tonight. Zhang thought fearfully about how could this be. He doesn't have a single spirit stone with him. You can't participate in an auction if you don't have any spirit stones. He might just not be allowed into the auction hall. Sai Xiaoyu said that if Brother Zhang was interested, he could give him a private room. The boy thanked Brother Sai, but he asked, what was the price of this puppet? If he suddenly wanted to buy it, how much would it cost him? The man replied that the puppet was something they inherited from a soulless master, so it was quite difficult to name a price. They will put an initial price of 1,500 spirit stones, but the price will probably double during the bidding. He is afraid that he will need at least 3,000 spirit stones to win. The man asked with a smile that Brother Zhang wanted to participate. The guy replied that it sounded quite interesting, but he wouldn't have enough funds. Brother Sai said it's no big deal. He has some savings. He can add to it. He doesn't know how much more Brother Zhang needs. The boy exclaimed that it's good. He said he was short of 3,000 spirit stones. Can he add more? Here everyone froze because they were stunned by the guy's words. Sai Xiaoyu thought about the fact that 3,000 spirit stones could buy a puppet. The one asks to add such a large amount. It turns out that he doesn't have a single spirit stone. No wonder this guy wants to pay with gold coins every time and isn't afraid of getting nailed. At first he thought he was just a talented and outstanding person, but it turned out to be like this. Fei Yu thought about the fact that he didn't have a penny to his name, and he was planning to buy a puppet. Jin Kunai was thinking about the fact that he seems to have practiced the study of poisons for too long. Now he doesn't know anything about this world. Brother Sai asked Zhang, did he just forget his wallet when he went out? Does he really not have a single spirit stone? Zhang showed his pockets and replied that he had about 10 gold coins with him, but he had spent it all on the way, but he couldn't buy anything with it. So now he was really broke. Sai Xiaoyu was surprised at how calmly he talked about it. He said that he would borrow money to appear friendly, but as soon as he opened his mouth, it turned out that he needed 3,000. Although he is the owner of Jianbao Pavilion, he is not that rich. Oh, and he just bought a soothing herb for 2,000 and gave it to him. What a freeloader. He doesn't need that. Zhang said. Apparently the other one doesn't have one either. Let him forget it then. How can he make money quickly here? And Sai Xiaoyu asked that he wanted to earn money now so that he could participate in the auction and buy a puppet in an hour. Zhang said he had to go. He should earn 3,000 spiritual stones faster. Brother Sai said that it is actually impossible. 3,000 spiritual stones is a lot. But then Liu Chang told the teacher that he thought there was a way to make that kind of money in a short period of time. The man asked if he was really talking about. Sai Xiaoyu said that it couldn't be done. The pavilion has been established for a long time, but no one has succeeded yet. Liu Chang said that this is really the only way to earn 3,000 spirit stones in an hour. He can't think of anything else. Zhang asked, what is it? Is there any way? Sai Xiaoyu said that there is one place set up for rank 5 appraisers. It's called Luban Chushui. If he passes well, he can get the rewards that have been lying there since the very base of the pavilion. There would definitely accumulate around 5,000 spirit stones. Zhang thought admiringly that here it was a worthwhile use for the library of the heavenly path in his vision. The guy grabbed the man's arm. He told them to go that way. The man asked that he was really going there. The guy replied that of course he was going to earn 5,000 gold stones. They shouldn't waste any time. Let them take him there first. They all walked to the big doors together. Liu Chang said that it was here. Zhang stated that he would go and try it. Sai Xiaoyu told Brother Zhang to take his time and listen to him first. Zhang told the man to speak. The man said that there are rewards for participation, of course. A bid is also needed. He needs to put up 100 spirit stones as a deposit. Of course, he can bail him out so he doesn't have to go looking for it. Zhang was frustrated at the thought that without this contribution, all appraisers would want to try themselves. I would be interested in something else in this pavilion. Zhang sadly said okay. He asked to borrow some stones for him. As soon as he passed the test, he would return them to him immediately. The man awkwardly replied that he could borrow them, of course, but this trial had a serious time limit. He added that as the name makes clear, there will be a flood of treasures in front of him, and he is given only 10 breaths to determine the value and origin of the item. Fei Yu asked in surprise, only 10 sighs to give an answer, is that really possible? And Zhang grudgingly extended his hand, telling him to give faster. He is in a hurry. The pavilion head reached into his pocket, awkwardly replying that it was fine, and Liu Chang thought about how unscrupulous the other one was. The teacher is so polite to him and he acts so rude. If he's so insolent, then let him just take it and go already. Taking the stones, Zhang opened the door, saying that he was challenging Lujan Chushui. Sun Qian told his master to go ahead. The others outside remained awkwardly silent, and then Lu Chang unhappily said that he was too cocky. No matter how good he was, it was impossible to possess the vision of a 5-star appraiser. Hearing this, Sun Qian asked unhappily, what did he think that their master would not pass this test? How about a bet? Liu Cheng asked what? The guy replied that he was betting that their young master would definitely pass. The guy bet that he wouldn't be able to. He suggested that I bet a lot and then asked, how about 3,000 spirit stones? Liu Cheng irritably thought about the fact that this was almost all he had. The man asked if the man had that amount of money. Sun Qian spread his hands, replying that of course not. If there were, why would the Lord borrow from them or come to this place with a flood of treasures? The men looked at him unhappily. Fei Yu thought about the one speaking so joyfully and also so confidently. That's courage. No money but bets with treasure appraisers. Indeed, what kind of master, what kind of servant? Liu Chang asked that if he didn't have money, how would he argue? The guy replied that he really didn't have any money, but the pavilion owner had some, he would lend it to him. Sai Xiaoyu awkwardly thought about saying he would lend money to Master Zhang, but it was a sign of courtesy to befriend him. Master and servant are both good. One was trying to borrow, the other was trying to make a bet. He's just being polite. Are they serious? Do they need to bury themselves even more? Sun Chang of the city said that even if the pavilion master is stingy and ignores the kindness of the Lord and won't lend him so much, it's no big deal. Madame Zhao Fei will lend them to him. They are just stones, nothing special to her. This made her feel shocked. The girl thought about the fact that she was just passing by, but found herself in the center of what was happening. She was very afraid that they would be deceived here. That's why she became a guide, and in the end, this is how it turned out. Did Sai Xiaoyu wonder what the latter meant when he said that he was stingy and ignored Zhang Huang's kindness? Didn't he give him a soothing herb? Yes, aside from that, he let him into Liujian Chushai and spent his wealth for nothing. And he calls him stingy? Sun Qian said that there was no objection, so 3,000 stones was nothing to them. Let him not worry. If he loses, he will definitely get his stones. However, is he just not afraid to make a bet? He's a treasure appraiser. Is this a large amount of money for him? The man irritably didn't know what to answer. Sun Qian added that if he was really worried, then let him just forget about it. Their master's strength was unrivaled, and this was just some minor flux, nothing serious. Liu Chang couldn't stand it and shouted that he was betting if he guessed a single treasure, he lost. He doesn't believe that their master can handle a test that is beyond even 5-star appraisers. Sun Qian happily stated, now that's talk, a real man. The guy asked the remaining 3 if they would participate. It was still possible to join now, then they would miss their chance, but all of them were silent. Sai Xiaoyu thought about the fact that he was betting his own spirit stones, so if he won, the reward still wouldn't be theirs. Were Fei Yu and Jin Kunhai thinking about missing their chance? Weren't they too? But then the sign lit up. Liu Chang shockedly exclaimed, how could it be handled so quickly? Could it be that he was just lucky? Sun Qian asked with a chuckle. What does the other person think? Is it just luck? He still has a chance to get his 3,000 spirit stones back. Would he bet again? The man agreed, saying that he would bet, but he cried afterward. After coming out with a large number of caskets and scrolls, Zhang asked if everything was successful. Sai Xiaoyu congratulated Zhang, saying that he didn't expect it. Then he asked, weren't these treasures for appraisal? They couldn't be taken. Zhang replied that he had no idea. As soon as he finished, they swooped down on him and he couldn't do anything about it. The man asked in surprise, what could it be, spiritual excitement? Zhang interjected, what is spiritual excitement? The head of the pavilion said that if a weapon reaches a certain level, it will be spiritual. It is the same with painting and calligraphy. Of course, they cannot possess a soul like a human, but they recognize and identify with the practitioner. It is somewhat similar to how animals recognize their host by a drop of blood and then lick it off to make it theirs. Jin Kunhai said that a spiritualized weapon understands its problems, but cannot communicate with others, so there is no way to fix it. Some practitioners can understand the weapon's problem on their own and fix it, but not everyone is capable of it. Fei Yu asked how did this happen to the appraiser. Sai Xiaoyu stated that these things recognized him as their owner. Zhang was surprised to realize this, and the head of the pavilion was thinking about being bankrupt. How could this happen? It would have been better if he had just eaten the emerald bamboo leaves and died, and none of this would have happened. The 100-year treasures of the Jianbao Pavilion in Hunhai City were looted before his eyes, but then the man remembered that there were only 10 treasures, but 11 signals sounded. The man realized something. He exclaimed questioningly, what Liujian Chushui? He dumbfoundedly thought about the fact that a person could go bankrupt, fame could disappear, but Liujian Chushui could not be lost. Falling to his knees, the man told Master Zhang that Liujian Chushui is the pavilion's treasure. It represents its greatness. He begged the man to leave them alone.